The idea to do Feng Shui came from our staff. We've really made a concerted effort over the last 4 years to satisfy our cultural communities, principally the Asian community, but also the Greek and Italian communities. We started talking to them about what their families would want, what they were looking for in a cemetery, what made them choose a cemetery, the kinds of things that would bring comfort to them in their moments of grief. And one of the things that they advised us of and told us about was the Feng Shui master and the kinds of things that they would be able to help us with in designing our buildings and our property. And so we started investigating those with our staff and with our architects and our development people, and we ended up finding some Feng Shui masters to help us with this particular work.
The good Feng Shui master always design, make the project booming. Within limited time, the shorter the better. There are many objectives for different projects. Some are money, some are health, but this one is a relationship. And also peaceful, calm, that you need that kind of condolence.
There are a lot of architects who treat problems as something you want to avoid. We look at them as challenges. We deal with the sun, we deal with the rain, we deal with the snow. So in this case, what got added to the mix was the principles of Feng Shui. And our Feng Shui master was a pretty tough taskmaster, I have to admit. He would not let us vary from any of his principles.
Jim was able to put his knowledge to mingle, to combine with mine. I like this project because we work so close each other. And end up, I found very closely follow the instructions and recommendation. I have put down the report there.
When we first brought in the Feng Shui masters, one of the first things he did was he looked at our entranceway. And we used to have a lot of trees and bushes, and there was sort of an impediment inside the entrance that he felt was a very negative energy. And so we took out and cleaned out the whole area of all these overgrown trees and bushes, made it much more open, widened it for the positive energy, and also allowed and created an area where people could come in and turn around, so that there's a natural progression through into the property, but if there's also a way for them to turn around and go back out, which is a very important thing in terms of the energy and the positive elements of that. The Visitation Chapel and Reception Center is a building where families can have basically one-stop shopping. They can have all of their funeral needs met in the building. They can have a visitation, they can have a non-denominational service in the chapel, and they can also have a reception afterwards, all in the cemetery, and then have the funeral graveside service all in the cemetery, never having to leave the location, not having to fight traffic, having processions and those kinds of difficulties.
This chapel, I think, is a very impressive demonstration of not only the architecture and the spirit of the Mount Pleasant Group and what they stand for, it also embodies all of the principles of Feng Shui.
The whole design of this chapel, I like the way that we have the symmetrical form of the structure, which fits very well in Feng Shui model.
In a time of mourning, people are really looking for a quiet refuge. They're looking for materials that they're familiar with. They're looking for an environment that's warm, one that's inviting. They want to relate to nature. And I think our concept in this was to put the building, of course, to cover you and protect you, but also to let you feel as if you're outside. So you see all of the windows, they don't close you off, they come to the ground, they let you view the landscape. This is not only beautiful every season of the year, including winter, and when the landscape does mature, I think it's going to be quite spectacular. The feeling of the warmth, of course, is in the nature of the materials on the walls, the texture, something that you can feel, you can touch, you can relate to. The glulam beams, there isn't anyone in this world that I know of who doesn't like and feel very welcome or friendly towards wood. If you look at the carpet, our idea was that you were really walking on a forest floor. It is sort of like leaves in the fall that fall on the floor, again, to carry that natural theme through as much as possible. The sun plays an amazing role in this chapel, and we would have cranked the orientation a little differently, not only to bring the sun in, but Feng Shui demanded a certain orientation, and we're getting a little bit more than we would like, and hence the blinds.
I decided to tell them, look, you have to put the main chapel in this position. That's the most powerful in the 9 sections of this area.
I think when you're in this building, I think you do feel very much you're inside, but you're really outside. And I think, again, that's good Feng Shui. Feng Shui really deals with nature. It deals with feelings. It's not an intellectual exercise that's sort of superimposed from above and you sort of walk at right angles all the time. It deals with people's feelings. It deals with their soul. It deals with the landscape. It deals with the weather. And I'm in sync with that because my architecture deals with all of those.
I think Feng Shui has made a big difference. I think it really is about working with the community and responding to their needs, and also to our staff. I mean, it's an important piece of their culture, their tradition, and you have to respect that. We're in the business that sometimes can be quite difficult. Death is not an easy thing for people to deal with. And whatever you can do to provide a better environment and one that gives people comfort in a very difficult time, it's got to be good.